Shalom, Israel. Shalom, shalom. Brother Naquam, watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashima Mashiach, Wamalaki Bashai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting and laboring for the second coming of our Lord Yahushua. The hearty, mighty shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnify the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom to those men. Also, shalom to those men who endured those winter elements out there in the highways and byways. You endured those blizzards, the rain, the sleet, the snow, the freezing cold, the tundra, the ice. All praise to Yahweh Shemel for the Lord having mercy on you, brothers that are out there, that have been out there this whole winter, that made your body a living sacrifice. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent, and they're abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom. Shalom to the sisters out there, the sincere aquath out there, zealous, diligent, and on fire, and moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom to the ancient men. Shalom to the children. Shalom to the elect of Israel scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And a hearty shalom, peace and blessings to everybody on this mighty feast day, the destruction of Nicor. And tonight at sundown, we're transitioning into the first day of Purim. So call Lord Yahweh Shemel Shah for everybody tuning in live. You call Salah Shalom King, Yvette McKellar, Titus 2, and the Proverbs 31 woman. Don Israel to me, to Puak. We got Next Israel, Yasha Allah 12 Yakad, Quadan, Benjamin Youngwolf, and everybody else tuning in, and that will tune in, Lord willing. Purim, Mordecai'S vision of the two dragons and the final lots. So everybody should be in the spirit of total praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, man. Because these days, back-to-back days of deliverance and back-to-back days of vengeance and back-to-back days of the Most High having mercy on us, we have to praise the Most High, man, for delivering us, man. For Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua protecting us, keeping his angels about us, overthrowing the plots of Nicanor, overthrowing the counsels of Haman. These are back-to-back days about Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua delivering us, man. Right? And these are days of vengeance. These are days of vengeance. So all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua for vengeance, man. Right? Let's get this in Nahum, the first chapter. Right? Quick precept. Nahum chapter 1 and 1. The burden of Nineveh, the book of the vision of Nahum, the Elkoshite. The Most High is jealous, and Yahweh revengeth. Yahweh revengeth and is furious. Yahweh will take vengeance on his adversaries. He reserveth wrath for his enemies. So the Most High is about revenge, man. Yeah, the Most High is about mercy. Yes, the Most High is about kindness and compassion, right? But the Most High is also about revenge, right? Remember, the Most High said in Colossians chapter 3 and 25, he that doeth wrong shall receive the wrong that he had done, and there is no respect to persons, paraphrasing. So if you're wicked and you're ungodly and you plot against the righteous, you plot against their children, their wives, against the sanctuary, the temple, the Most High, his son, Yahushua, the Lord is going to eventually get up with you, man. So these are days of praising Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, saying Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, call Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, for allowing us to see these days, because these are the days where our enemy could have prospered, man. These are the days, if the Most High didn't have mercy on us, he could have used these nations to completely wipe us out, man. But the Lord is just. Remember the promises he made with our fathers, man. This is Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse number, I'll start at, this whole thing is good. I'm going to start at 35. To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time. For the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste. So we're waiting on the Most High, man, right, for vengeance in these days. And that's another thing that these major holy days teach you. Destruction of Nicanor, Purim, it teaches you that no matter what your adversary and your enemies plot against you, or what they think against you, and what they try to do to destroy the people of the Most High, the Lord is always going to come up out on top and deliver us, man. You know, You have to remember these promises, man. When people conspire against you, whether you're at your workplace or, people conspire against you concerning these elites in these nations, your family, the Most High sees that, man. Didn't the Lord deliver David, right? Concerning the counsel of Ahithophel, he overthrew it, man, by Hushai. Didn't the Lord overthrow the princes who came up against Daniel to throw him in the lion's den? Those men got thrown in the lion's den, man. And the lions had mastery on them. And we can go on and on and on about how many men of God have suffered conspiracies and have suffered people plotting against them, but the Lord delivered them. I want to get this in Esther real quick before I get into the dream, right? Let's go to Esther, the 6th chapter. This is Esther chapter 6 and verse number 13. And Haman, now Haman is an Agagite. He's an Edomite. Now he really goes back to King Agag, which is really an Amalekite that you can read about in 1 Samuel, the 15th chapter, where Saul took this demon captive, right? And he was effeminate, and he was supposed to slay him. But the Most High put the spirit on Samuel to hack him up in pieces. So Haman comes from that Amalekite bloodline, if you will, right? He's Haman the Agagite, of the seed of Agag, right? It reads, and Haman told Zeresh his wife and all his friends everything that had befallen him. Then said his wise men and Zeresh his wife unto him, if Mordecai be of the seed of the Jews, before whom thou hast begun to fall, thou shalt not prevail against him, but shall surely fall before him. And that's not just Mordecai. That's every Israelite. This pertains to every one of the elect. See, if you're the seed of the Jews, you're the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, there's nothing your enemy could do against you, man. Now, Esau could conspire against the Hamites and overthrow them. He could conspire against the Moabites and take them down. But if you try to plot against the seed of the Jews or the seed of the Israelites, what did they say? This is what the heathen said. His wise men who knew the times, who dealt with things on the left-hand side, even they knew that thou shalt not prevail against him, but shall surely fall before him, right? And that's what Purim teaches us. It teaches us that no matter, well, one of the many things is it teaches us that no matter what your enemy plots against you, what devices your enemy has, the Most High will overthrow it, right? And that's every day. Let's go to Psalms real quick, right? Thought of a few quick precepts. Psalms chapter 33 and 10. The Lord bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect. So you might have heathen conspiring against you now, man. How to get you fired, pulling up your videos of you teaching on the highways and byways, your YouTube account, your Facebook, your Instagram. You got elites right now conspiring how they're going to come up with a false flag or create this propaganda and agenda to defame the ministry. There's councils going on. They have councils on how they want to rule this earth and take down the Most High and take down Yahweh Shah when he returns with their space force and what weapons they're going to use and what their battle formation is going to be as they think in a bugged out mind that they could take down their creator. But the Most High brings the counsel of the heathen to naught, meaning to nothing. He maketh the devices, meaning the ideas, conspiracies of the people of none effect, right? Let's go to Job, the 5th chapter, right? Let's go to Job chapter 5. This is Job chapter 5, and let's start at verse number 13. I'll start at 12. It reads, he disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Haman had an enterprise to destroy all. Really, Haman had two missions. One mission was to destroy all of the Israelites, and a second mission was to overthrow the Persian kingdom and take down that entire kingdom and give it to the hand of the Macedonians, the Greeks. Right? He sought to hang Mordecai on gallows that he spent all night building. Right? This demon spent all night building gallows to hang Mordecai, and he was building the gallows, and it was so loud that the king couldn't even go to sleep. So the king, I'm not going to go to every account, but you know this account. And if you don't, you got to go back and read it. So the king couldn't even go to sleep. So he said, bring in the Chronicles, man, so I can go to sleep. So they read him the Chronicles, and they read how Mordecai saved the king. Right? Here it is. Haman is plotting and building a gallows to conspire against Mordecai just to keep the king awake so he can read about Mordecai and how Mordecai saved his life, just so he could bring Haman and say, what can we do to the man that the king wants to honor? Just to exalt Mordecai. I mean, Esther's a beautiful, beautiful, and that's an understatement, a beautiful account of lots, right? How the Most High sets things up. There's no coincidences with the Most High, right? There's no devising against the elect. He disappointed all of these things. And you can't perform your enterprise against Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right? Let's go to Isaiah real quick. Then I want to get into this, the dream, right? Isaiah chapter 8 and verse number 10. Take counsel together, and it shall come to naught. Speak the word, and it shall not stand. Why? It says, for the Most High is with us. You see that? Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is with us, man. Right? So, like the Lord said in Romans the 8th chapter, who shall lay anything to the charge of God's elect? It is the Most High that justifieth. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor famine, nor the sword, nor nakedness, nor peril, nor persecution, nor any other thing, paraphrasing, shall be able to separate us from the love of the Most High. If the Most High be for us, who could be against us? And the Most High we boast all the day long. Right? So you speak a word against us if you want to, man. All you elites that may be tuning in, right? All you child molesters, you blood drinkers, you Sabbath breakers, you idolaters, take counsel against the men of the Lord and the daughters of the Lord in their households if you want to, man. It's not going to stand because the Most High is with us, right? So let's go into this in Esther. So when you go into Purim, Purim essentially means a lot, right? It means a lot. Now, you can read about Purim being initiated as a holy day in the book of Esther, the 9th chapter, right? You can read this entire 9th chapter, and you can dive into it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right? You can read Esther, the 9th chapter. Now, I'm going to read Esther chapter 9 and 24. Then I want to go into the Apocrypha, all right? Esther 9 and 24. Because Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the enemy of all the Jews, had devised against the Jews to destroy them and cast that is, the lot to consume them and to destroy them. So Purim goes back to the word lots. It's lucky. And that's what this day is about. When you read this account, they cast lots to determine a set time in which they were going to destroy the Israelites. That's what Haman did. And a lot fell on the 12th month, right? On the days that we keep Purim, right? Now, lots are also particular. What a lot is your particular destiny, if you will, right? Your portion, your gift, right? Lots are manifold. And every single one of us has a lot. Every nation has a lot, right? Let's pull this up. Let's see if they got the biblical definition of lot, right? Actually, we'll just go into the blue letter, right? Let's go into that, right? So that's what a lot is. A lot is essentially your portion. That's what it is, your portion. Everybody has a particular portion given to them by the Most High, right? Now, your portion, if you're the elect, is the kingdom of heaven. Your portion, if you're the elect, is everlasting life. Your portion, if you're the elect, is having a crown that fadeth not away. That's your lot. If you're an Edomite, you don't have that same portion. Your portion is damnation, destruction, slavery, and eventually extinction. And even amongst these Edomites, they have their own different lots. Some are created to be the elite. Some are created to be low-level Edomites, two-time losers. Even amongst the Israelites, you have different lots. Some men are apostles. That was their lot. There's nothing that an apostle can do to not be an apostle. If the Most High created him to be an apostle, he's going to be an apostle. He can't say, well, you know what, I don't want to be an apostle anymore. And look, I want to go back and I want to be an electrician. No, he's an apostle. Right? Oh, no, I want to go up and I want to be a rapper. I'm going to hit the studio. Right? And I'm going to invest my life in being a rapper. He can't do that. Even if he wanted to, he's not going to, because he can't, because he was programmed to fulfill the plot or the lot slocket that the Most High gave. And every single one of us have a lot. Whether you're an apostle, a prophet, a teacher, a help, a pastor, you came in 30-fold, 60-fold, 90-fold, right? Everybody has a portion given to them, gifts, wisdom, a destiny, a path. That's what Purim is about, right? On another level, right? Lot, it says, pebbles used for systematically making decisions. Now, like a modern day lot is like rolling dice, right? You want to figure out, who goes first. Like people play board games or Monopoly or something. You roll the dice, man. Right? So a lot is when you take things out of the decision point out of man. The decision point is no longer influenced from man or by man, and it is strictly put into the hands of the Most High. And man cannot determine the outcome of the lot. You have no influence on a lot. When you roll the dice, there's nothing that you can do, right? Unless you're a demon, people shade, they freak off, right? But a righteous man, there's nothing you can do to determine what that dice is going to be. No matter, and Jake and they mind, they think, man, if somebody blow on my dice, or I hold it on this hand and I do this, and there's nothing you can do, man. And that dice is going to land however the Most High wanted to land. And when people do cards and they say whoever got the highest card, right, goes first. Hey, there's nothing you can do on that, man. The cards are randomly shuffled. There's nothing you can do. Whoever get the highest card, that's the Most High. When you pull straws, whoever got the shortest straw, the short end of the stick, that's a lot, man. When people spin, like you watch Wheel of Fortune, and they spin that big old spinner, man. If you get bankrupt, that's your lot. There's nothing that you can do to determine what the outcome is going to be. And that's what Purim also teaches us. As men, there's nothing that we can do to determine our lot. All power belongs to the Most High. Right? That's why it says portion. Lot, portion, thing assigned by casting lots. Right? So let's go to and in the ancient world, they would use stones, right? They would throw the stones, and the stones would have different writings on it, or they would land in a particular place, and it would fall according to whatever the Most High allowed, right? That's what a lot is. You'll see people in the world, I believe the term is Cleromancy. That's what they call it in the world, right? But this deals with the left-hand side, right? So Cleromancy is a form of sortition, casting of lots, that's what it is, in which an outcome is determined by means that normally would be considered random, right? Let's get the etymology on this word Cleromancy, right? Let's go to the etymology, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemiah Washah, right? It's like a Cleromancy. So the outcome is determined by Yahweh. Right? Cleromancy, divination by throwing dice, right? From French, cleromancy, from Latin form of Greek kleros, meaning lot, right? And mantia is oracle or divination, right? So essentially, the divination comes from the Most High ultimately, because the Lord is the one that determines how that lot is going to be. And if you and there's nothing wrong with casting a lot, there's nothing wicked about casting lots. Now, if you cast lots for every move, that you make in life, then that's a whole that's you might be foolish. Okay, do I want to eat a deep dish or do I want a hoagie? Let me cast a lot. Okay, should I put my sock on my left foot first, or should I put it on my right foot first? Let me cast a lot. Okay, right foot or left foot, right? That's off, man. That's off. Lord, should I scratch my back with my right hand, or should I use my left hand? Let me cast a lot. right? And you don't want to tip the Most High with excess lots, man. And lots of folly, right? Let's go to Deuteronomy. I just want to touch on lots, right? This is Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. So every nation has an inheritance. And every nation has a particular, they call it, even Esau, they call it a gene pool, right? So they have a particular gene pool that makes them do and look the way that they do and look, man. Why do you think the Moabite man looks the way he looks? That's his lot. That's his inheritance, to have Mongoloidism. You can't tap into that lot. That's his lot. Your lot is to be an Israelite, man. Right? To have the spirit of an Israelite, to have soul. That's what the Most High gave you, man. That's it. You have melanin. You have your own genetics. You have your own spirit. We're the chief of the people of the earth, man. And if you're born an Israelite, man, look, man, you got it made. And if you in this truth, it don't get no better than this, man. And we didn't ask for this. It's our lot. I didn't ask to be an Israelite, man. I didn't ask to come into this truth. You didn't ask to come into this truth. It was your lot. That was your inheritance from the beginning. Who would have known? The Most High. He would have known, right? But man doesn't know these things, man. I mean, oh man, if I woke up, man, and I was an Edomite, right? If I was an Edomite and I found out I was an Edomite, I would do I think I would do what the Edomites do, man. Right? That's why they do what they do. You got to think about that, man. They know they're not the Most High's chosen people. They know all of the promises. Who do you think that envy comes from? That jealousy comes from, man? That hatred comes from? Right? And we're going to boast that we the Israelites. We ain't going to hide it, man. Oh, that's my lot. I'm going to I ain't going to say too much about it. I don't want to rub the nations the wrong way. I'm not really an Israelite. I don't really want to say much about it. Oh, those fringes, those are nothing. Oh, this beard, this woolly hair, ain't not. Oh, this brown skin and my brown eyes and the ability to think on a higher level and be spiritual. No, man, we're better than you nations. That's what the Lord said. Oh, you shouldn't say that, brother. Look, man. That's what the Most High said. That's what Ezra said in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter. Right? He said, you made the world for our sakes. He was talking to the Most High. Right? Let me read the next verse. And he called them heathen. He said, and Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and devour us. Read 2nd Ezra 6:54 and down. Right? You got brothers getting mad. Well, why would you say that? Don't say that. Right? You're going to make them feel bad. You don't want to upset them. I'm going to tell, look, this is Deuteronomy 32 and 9. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. See that? So we belong to the Most High. That's our lot. Jacob didn't ask for it. The Most High gave it to him from the womb. Right? So let's go into this vision. This is Editions of Esther, chapter 10. So I encourage brothers to read the book of Esther, right? And then you can read the editions of Esther. So Esther in the Old Testament, right before Job, you got 10 chapters. And then it follows up and the editions of Esther, right? Because regular Esther ends, I believe, on 3 verses, right? Let's see. It ends on 3 verses, right? But then you have the additions, right? The rest of Esther, the 10th chapter, and a further prophecy and wisdom that's in the Apocrypha, Okay, it's in the Apocrypha. So this is addition to Esther chapter 10, right? It reads, then Mardochaeus. Now, Mardochaeus is the Greek way of saying Mordecai. All right, it's the exact same man. Now, Mardochaeus said, God hath done these things, for I remember. And he's recapping what happened concerning Haman and his death and how the Most High delivered them. And he looked back and he reflected. And he said, all this that happened to us, the Most High did this. The Most High done these things, right? He's going to tell you how the Most High made him remember this, right? For I remember a dream, which I saw concerning these matters, and nothing hereof hath failed. And sometimes that happens, man. Something that happened in your life, you're like, damn, I had a dream about that, man. And everything in that dream came to pass. See, a lot of brothers, you have dreams, and you think your dream is going to happen or come to pass that next day or 2 days from now. And that dream could come to pass in a year, 2 years, 3 years. And sometimes you might have a dream twice. Remember what Joseph told Pharaoh about when you have those dreams that can happen twice, right? He said the dream is double, right? This is Genesis chapter 41 and 32, right? It reads, and for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by the Most High, and the Most High will shortly bring it to pass. So if you have a dream twice, expect that to come very soon. It might not come in 10 years, 20 years. That might come that next day. It might come 3 days from then. I remember Pharaoh had the same dream, but he had it in 2 different fashions, if you will, right? When you go read about this, the ill-favored kind, and he had the stalk and the grain that came out, the corn, right? But they were the same dream, and it had the same meaning, and that might happen to you, right? You might have one dream tell you something, then you had another dream, but it's telling you the same thing, and that dream, 10 times out of 10, if it's the same one twice, it's going to come to pass, right? And the Most High deals with men through dreams, right? He deals with prophets. Mordecai is a prophet, right? He's not just a guy that was having sackcloth on, not bowing down to Haman, right? This number is 12 and 6. And he said, hear now my words, if there be a prophet among you, I, Yahweh, Bashmi Abishai, will make myself known unto him in a vision and will speak unto him in a dream. So the Most High deals with prophets primarily through the dreams that they have. And those dreams are interpreted by prophets who have the dreams or by other prophets. Some prophets don't understand their dream. It might be too high. The Most High might not reveal it to them. So the Most High may put the spirit on another prophet or prophets to kind of break that dream down. And then sometimes the prophet may understand his own dream. Remember, when Joseph had the dream about the 7 stars and the sun and the moon that made obeisance to him, his brothers, Jacob understood the dream. He said, shall I and my mother and thy brothers bow down to thee? So some men, when you tell them a dream, they know it just like that. That's how Jacob was. Jacob, he was on a high level when it came to dreams. He could interpret a dream like that. He didn't have to go on a fast. He didn't have to do that. That spirit was passed on Joseph. Joseph, he could interpret dreams. Daniel can interpret dreams. And there are certain brothers in this knowledge, man. If you have the ability to interpret a dream, and it's beautiful. Right? Now, let's go back to this. So, Mordecai had a dream, right? It reads for this addition to Esther 10 and 5. For I remember a dream which I saw concerning these matters, and nothing thereof hath failed. A little fountain became a river, and there was light, and the sun and much water. This river is Esther, whom the king married and made queen. Right? So men are likened unto bodies of water, right? Men are likened unto bodies of water. So Esther is likened unto a river. The Lord said, I want to get a quick precept to prove that, right? Let's go to James real quick. This is James chapter 1 and verse number 6. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. So man is likened to what? Waves of the sea. Man are likened to rivers, right? Man are likened to oceans, if you will, on a deeper level, the great deep. So you might have a dream of a river, man, and it might really be talking about a person. It might not be talking about living water. It might not be talking about, actual river. It might be concerned in an individual, but that's according to, the dream that you have, right? That's according to the dream that you had. I had another precept I wanted to get. Oh, let me get this real quick. In Ecclesiasticus, right? I may just open up another, right? Just one more quick precept concerning that matter, right? Let's go to the Apocrypha, right? We're going to stay in the Apocrypha. We're going to go to Ecclesiasticus, the 24th chapter, right? This Ecclesiasticus, chapter 24, and verse number 30, right? This wisdom speaking. I also came out as a brook from a river, and as a conduit into a garden. I said, I will water my best garden, and will water abundantly my garden bed. And lo, my brook became a river, and my river became a sea. Meaning you increase and grow. It's like in the knowledge of the Most High, right? So wisdom, man, you could be likened to a garden or rivers. Esther herself, she was a river in the dream that Mordecai had, whom the king married and made queen. Remember, the king was Ahasuerus, right? Now, Ahasuerus, his wife, his first woman, Vashti, went off. She went the hell off, right? So he sought for all of the fair virgins in the 127 provinces. And amongst all those virgins, Esther was found the most pleasing in the eyes of the Most High, right? Verse number 7. And the two dragons are I and Haman. And the nations were those that were assembled to destroy the name of the Jews, right? So he had a dream of two dragons, Helm and Haman, right? Now, Haman, remember, he's an Edomite. The Edomites are likened unto dragons, right? Wicked Jake can be likened unto a dragon, right? Let me go to Job, right? Brothers know Job chapter 30 and 29, right? Job 30 and 29. I am a brother to dragons and a companion to owls. So we know that dragon, like he said, was Haman, right? We're brothers to dragons, which are violent, really sea serpents. They can be likened to lizards, creatures, like a Komodo dragon, a damn Gila monster. In the Greek, they're likened to large water serpents, right? So that's what a dragon is, right? Let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 32nd chapter, right? Precept upon precept. Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse number 33. Their wine is the poison of dragons and cruel venom of asps. And that's like the other nations and Israel, man. Right? Because, Jake, you produce wine like a dragon. Right? Your Kemet community, your Egyptology, your Nuwapianism, right? Your Black Lives Matter. All of that is poison. It seeps deep into our people's spirit and destroys them slowly, man. Poison doesn't kill you like that. It takes time to go into your blood and, take effect and take root. That's how philosophies and doctrines are. They're likened unto poison from dragons and the cruel venom of an asp, which is a serpent, right? So it makes perfect sense that in his dream, the two dragons are Mordecai and Haman. And really, that's what this whole Bible is about. The whole Bible is about these two dragons. These are the main two main two stars of the movie, if you will, Jacob and Esau, That's what this whole Bible is about, man. It's about Jacob and Esau being his enemy. All you other nations, man, I mean, you're just like an extra. You like those guys in the movie that you know that are in the background at the coffee shop, man, speaking on the table in the back. The people walking down the street. You don't really have too much of a major role in this movie, man. Right? This all comes down to Jacob being the elect and being righteous, and Esau looking to persecute and kill him. Right? Bear with me. Right? That's what it all comes down to. Right? So you have these two dragons. Right? Let's read on. Addition to Esther 10 and 8. And the nations that were assembled to destroy the name of the Jews. And my nation is this Israel, which cried to God and were saved. For the Lord hath saved his people, and the Lord hath delivered us from all those evils. And the Most High hath wrought signs and great wonders, which have not been done among the Gentiles. Therefore hath he made two lots, one for the people of God, and another for all the Gentiles. And these are the two major lots, two major categories of man. Doesn't matter if you're a tall man or a short man. You got yellow eyes, you got green eyes, right? Doesn't matter if you have dark skin, if you have light skin. Doesn't matter. Upper middle class, lower middle class. There are two lots when it's all said and done. You got one lot for the people of God, the elect of Israel. You have another lot for the heathen. They're going to receive two different judgments. They have two different paths. They're created for two different purposes. And there's nothing that they can do to intermingle those lots. See, a Gentile can't receive the lot of an Israelite. So all you replacement, what they call that, replacement theology, all you Christians that want to try to, and you heathen that want to get into this olive tree, you can't get grafted in, man. You know, you can't get in this thing. You're not invited. You have your own lot. When you read Luke, the 16th chapter, Yahweh Shah said there's a great gulf fixed so that one cannot pass to the other. Right? Let me get that in Luke, the 16th chapter concerning the rich man and Lazarus. Right? Let's get that in Luke chapter 16 to back that up. These two great lots. I want to get straight to the point. This Luke chapter 16 and verse number 26. I mean, this whole thing is good. This is a beautiful chapter about these two lots. You got the rich man, which represents the so-called white man, and you got Lazarus, which represents the Israelites, right? But let's read Luke 16 and 20. I'll read 25. But Abraham said, son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and thou art tormented. These are the two lots. The people of God are going to be comforted concerning our oppression. Comforted concerning what? The hell that we catch, man, and these curses. And these nations, chiefly Esau, they're going to be tormented by Yahweh Shah, the chariots, by the missiles, by slavery, hardcore bondage, yokes of iron. These are the two lots, comfort and torment. And beside all this, here's the point. And beside all this, between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot, neither can they pass to us that would come from thence. So they can't pass to us, man. You can't be an Israelite, man. You can't get the kingdom if you are an Edomite, man. You can't pass over. This great gulf is fixed. When something is fixed, it's set. It's not movable. There's a great separation. And that really, this great gulf started in the spirit world. Huh? You can't pass over. And if you're the elect, there's nothing that you could do. It's likely to fall out the truth. Now you may say, well, I don't know. Okay, well, If you're the elect, you're going to make it to the kingdom anyway. And even if you fall, the Most High is going to pick you back up. See, this whole thing is out of our hands. This whole thing is out of our hands. When you really understand the program of the Most High, all things are predestinated. All things deal with predestination. Nations, men, right? The course of nature, beast, creeping things, they all have a destiny that the Most High gave them. All right. So the point is, this great gulf is equivalent to the separation of the two lots. All right. I want to get that word fixed in the Greek, right? Real quick in Luke 16:26. Right. Let's get that real quick. Right. So this word, let's see. It's not what okay. I believe this is what we want. Right. Fixed in the Greek is sterizo. Right. Sterizo, to make stable, place firmly, set fast, to fix. Salakia. It means to strengthen, to make firm. So there's a strong separation between Israel and Esau. Right? There's a strong separation. And that goes back to the Most High's program. All right. So going back to this addition to Esther. Let's read additions of Esther 10:10. Therefore hath he made two lots, one for the people of God and another for all the Gentiles. Let's go to another quick precept. Let's go to Psalms chapter 16. Right? Now, you don't know what your lot is. Again, you don't know. Because you can say, well, my lot, I'm in his truth. I'm meant to be in the kingdom. Well, you don't know what the end is going to be. Yeah, you might be in the truth today, but tomorrow you could be in the world. So no man could think that he stands without understanding that he could fall. And that's what the Most High said in 2 Peter 1:10. Be diligent to make your calling and election sure. Right? So we're striving and we're looking at what the elect have done in time past, and we're patterning our lives after them in word and deed, right? This is Psalms chapter 16 and verse number 5. Yahweh is the portion of mine inheritance, and of my cup thou maintainest my lot. So no matter what David went through, the Lord always set him back up top. He maintained his lot. Even, when Goliath came against him, he maintained his lot. When Absalom tried to overthrow him, he maintained his lot. When Adonijah rose up against him, he maintained his lot. Right? When all these men rose up, when all these men rose up against him, King Saul, he maintained his lot. His lot was to be the king. So trouble and adversity may come your way, but again, the Most High is going to maintain your lot. Like they got these cars nowadays, these newer cars. You could be driving down the highway, right? Now you could be sleepy or you could be tired or whatever. You might start to veer into the other lane, right? Especially if you're going, it's one way this way, one way that way, two lanes, opposite directions. Now, if you rear over to that lane, you might get hit by a car with a head-on collision. But some of these cars, they keep you on the right path, right? You'll try to get in that lane, but then your car won't let you, right? You brothers that may have a newer car. See, I heard of it. I don't have a newer car, but I heard of it, right? So they were talking about at the plantation, right? You kind of get over in that left lane, but that car, he'll bring you right back, man. And they won't let you. It's programmed to keep you on pace. And these cars, if a car get too next to you on your blind side, it'll light up. It'll say beep, beep, beep. So these cars are programmed to get you to your destiny or get you to your destination. And that's what the Most High does with the angels, right? That's why you survived all these near-death experiences, man. That's why every decision that you made in life brought you to this truth, good or bad. Every relationship you was in, every interaction you've ever had, all your upbringing with all your brothers, sisters, cousins, aunts, uncles, all of it was for you to be in this truth right now. Maybe you dropped out of school, maybe you did a few years of college, maybe you didn't finish it, and maybe you kind of got a trade, and maybe you went to school and maybe whatever. You had a few kids, maybe you didn't. All of it was for what? What time is it? It's 7:20 on the East Coast. All of it was for you to come in this truth. Thou maintainest my lot. Verse number 6. The lines are fallen unto me in pleasant places. Yea, I have a goodly heritage. And lines fallen unto you are terms that are used to describe a man receiving his boundaries of land. So the lines represent the landmark, right? Like if you go from Maryland to Pennsylvania, there is a boundary line. If you look up a state map, there's a line that you can actually cross to go from Maryland to PA. The state board boundary line. Hey, you can get out the car, man, pull over, and some people, they hop from one state to the next, right? So those are the lines. They represent the boundaries of your portion. And David said when he looked at the wealth that he had, he looked at the deliverance that he had, and he looked at all of the women he had, the riches that he had, right? The land that he conquered. He said, damn, bro, I got it made. The lines have fallen to me in pleasant places, man. I can't lose. Certain people can't lose, man. Hey, Jacob, he couldn't lose, even if he wanted to, man. Nehemiah couldn't lose, man. The Apostle Paul, he couldn't lose. The 12 couldn't lose. Even though Peter denied Yahushua, he couldn't lose. He was set up to do that and set up to come back and bounce back from that. Certain brothers, and sisters, no matter what, they can't lose. They're undefeated and they'll always be undefeated. Certain people right now, they'll never die. And they'll be immortal. They're just waiting for immortality to kick in. They're alive right now. They're going to survive Jacob's trouble. They're going to survive the famine. They're going to survive martial law. They're going to survive the concentration camps. Hey, some men, they're not going to get their head chopped off. Certain men ain't going to get resurrected. Certain men are going to see Yahushua come with the chariots. And they're alive right now, and they'll never die. They'll never starve. They're just waiting on the kingdom. Now, if you have that lot, man, like you read about that in Job, the 5th chapter, those are pleasant places. Everybody don't have those lots, man. David said, yea, I have a goodly heritage. I will bless Yahweh, Bashmi Abishai, who hath given me counsel. My reins also instruct me in the night seasons. Right? I have set the Lord always before me, because he is at my right hand. I shall not be moved. Right? This whole chapter is good, man. So David knew through the spirit and power of the Most High that he was set. He was set. The Lord told Daniel that. Right? He said, Daniel, stand in your lot. Right? At the end of the days. Daniel 12:13. But go thou thy way to the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days. And the lot that he's standing in is the exact same lot we just read about in the addition to Esther. That's the elect at the resurrection, at the day of judgment, when Yahushua returns. Right? So these lots are beautiful, man. And you can't pray for your lot to change. Oh, Lord, change my lot. Because first of all, you don't know what your lot is going to be. Here you are praying for the Most High to change your lot. And not that it can't happen, but you're one of the elect. Lord, change my lot. Okay, and the Lord change your lot, and he turned you to one of the 2/3. You can't change this thing, man. This is outside of your control. You got to deal with it. Hey, how you look, that was created by the Most High, man. Certain people, it's like you're short, man. You know, hey, certain people are tall. You got people trying to break their legs and become taller. You got that guy who wanted to, Who's this guy, man? Tall people surgery, right? I think it was a Jake. He paid $80,000 to grow 6 foot. I thought the Lord said, which one of you, by taking thought, could add 1 cubit to his stature? The Lord said that, man. But this Negro, and his complete vanity, right? He decided to force the hand of the Most High, to potentially try to change his lot and get 6 feet taller, man. Right? From 5'5", from 5'5" to 6 foot, man. Not even 6'3" or not. They're 6 foot, man. 6 foot ain't even that tall. It's not even tall. You know? It's not even tall. Look at this. For this brother. Right? So that was vain. Right? This was vain. This is off. He's off. Right? But that's the spirit that we in, man. Right? That's the spirit that we in. Right? The Lord said, thou maintainest my lot. All right? So no matter what you look like, who you are, and what your spirit is, you could probably physically change your appearance, but you can't change your spirit. You can get plastic surgery. You could be a damn shapeshifter. Right? You could bleach your hair, dye your hair, bleach your skin. It's like, but one thing you can't do is change what the Most High made you, right? In the spirit. Let's go back to this in addition to Esther, right? Addition to Esther 10:10. Therefore hath he made 2 lots, one for the people of God and another for all the Gentiles. And these 2 lots came at the hour and time and day of judgment before God amongst all nations. And this day of judgment is when Yahweh shall returns, right? It's not everybody in a single file line, and everybody has to appear before the Most High. And the Most High, he asks you, okay, boys and girls, look, I remember this time you stole a nickel from your grandmother's purse. Okay, then this time, look, man, you know, you didn't wear your seatbelt, and this time you ate that piece of pork. And then you say, well, Lord, you know, well, what I meant to do was, and the Lord says, hold on. There's no going back and forth in that day. This isn't Christianity. They don't know the Bible. They want you to believe that you're going to have another chance on the day of judgment to go up there with the Most High and plead your cause. It ain't no pleading your cause, man. What did the Lord say in Daniel? He said the judgment was set, right? And the books were open, man. Once they hand that judge, the jury or the bailiff, whatever, hand that judge that verdict, ain't nothing you can do. Your lawyer can't say anything, man. He can't start speaking to the jury again. He had his chance to plead his cause. But once that judge get the verdict, it's set. Right? This is judging. It's like it, right? That's the spirit, right? Daniel chapter 7 and 10. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him. And 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set and the books were open. So once the judgment is set, it's over, man. And you're going to stand in your lot. Okay, were you righteous or were you wicked? Were you godly or were you ungodly? Did you keep the law? Did you not? Were you sincere? Were you not? Did you believe or did you not? Were you an infidel or were you not? The judgment is set. And the books were open, the book of life, right? The book of remembrance of the Lord, right? All of the books are going to be open, right? The records, you know? So let's go back to this. This day is the day of judgment. And that's what Purim is about. Now, really, on one level, that's that day, but also this actually happened in Esther the 9th chapter, right? When all of the nations sought to destroy the Israelites, right? And the Lord put the spirit on Israel to destroy their enemies. So that happened on a cardinal level, but on a deeper level, it's going into the day of judgment, right? Verse number 12. So God remembered his people and justified his inheritance, Therefore, those days shall be unto them in the month of Dar, the 14th and 15th day of the same month, with an assembly and joy and with gladness before the Most High, according to the generation, forever among his people. Right? So let's go to Editions of Esther, the 11th chapter. Right? So everybody, really, if you're on the East Coast, the sun is probably down now. Right? So tonight, right now, is the first day of Purim. Right? Tonight, right now, is the first day of Purim through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Right? That's a beautiful thing. So brothers got to get into it. You can't get mad when we just had a feast day. A brother said that one day, man. What the Lord won't give us all these feast days back to back to back. That's grievous. The Lord won't do anything grievous. How's that grievous? You can't get emotional. That has nothing to do with the scriptures. Why would the Lord give us all these feast days back to back to back like that? Here we got the first day of the feast of dedication. Then we got the new moon coming up. Then we got the Sabbath coming up. Then we got the feast days. We got another Sabbath. I can't get with that. That ain't right. Hey, we want feast days all day, every day, man. We want feast days all day, every day, man. Right? So let's read this. Right? I'm sick of these damn worldly days, man. Now I'm seeing green all around, man. Because allegedly, what is it? So-called St. Patrick's Day coming up. If it didn't come past already, man. Or if you don't wear green, they say if you don't wear green, you get pinched. Let somebody try to pinch me, man. See, these people play too much at work, man. Somebody gonna try to pinch me or pinch you. Hey, and look, man. Right? Let somebody try to, you didn't wear green, right? Oh, you didn't wear green. What's your problem? You know? And they put beads on where I be at, man. These Mardi Gras beads. You know? It'll be a big deal. So what the point is, we're sick of these holidays, man. We love the holy days of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Right? The Lord said in let me get a quick precept in Nahum. Right? So tonight, right now, if you're on the East Coast, right, when the sun goes down, it's a feast day. Right? I went Nahum 1 and 15. Right? Nahum chapter 1 and 15. Right? Behold, upon the mountains, the feet of him that bringeth good tidings, that publisheth peace. O Judah, keep thy solemn feast, perform thy vows, for the wicked shall no more pass through thee. He is utterly cut off. And that's what Purim is about too. About Haman being utterly cut off. And all his sons got lynched, man. See, that's when a so-called black woman was on the level. She said, we want to lynch these young white boys. Now you can say, well, I don't remember that in the Bible. I don't remember a black woman saying she wanted to lynch a bunch of white men. Well, you didn't read the Bible, man. You must not have read the book of Esther. And she went out of her way to do that, man. Mordecai didn't tell her to do that. That was on her heart. And she was a Benjamite. No, let's get it, man. Right? For those who don't believe. Right? Lead us Esther the 8th chapter, right? Right? Let's see, maybe the 7th chapter. Actually, it's like here it is, right? Esther chapter 8 and verse number 7. Then King Ahasuerus said unto Esther the queen, and to Mordecai the Jew, behold, I have given Esther the house of Haman, and him they have hanged upon the gallows, because he laid his hand upon the Jews. And that's what's going to happen to the so-called white man. We're going to inherit his house. See, Esther took over his house, meaning all of the things that he owned, they belong now to Esther. Hey, Haman had a wife, man, Zeresh. Don't you know that wife became a slave to Esther? All those wise men, Esther did what she wanted to do to him. This is when we were at our peak with the Most High. Even though we were in captivity, the Most High was dealing with Esther, man. She took over his house. Go inside a so-called white man house right now, man. A chief Edomite. One of these top politicians or elites. Go in his house right now and start moving stuff around. Tell me what happened. Go in his house and say, I was reading the book of Esther. The Lord said, hey, look, man. They'll throw you under the jail. But this was the power the Most High gave us. When I'm led to believe Esther probably went in that house, kicked the door down, man, and said, hey, move this over there, move that over there. Come over here, do this, get out, do this. Right? And that's prophecy. That's also going to happen when you read the book of Obadiah, right? Let's go to Obadiah. Right? Obadiah is a mighty book, man, to read during this time. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse number 19. And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the plain of the Philistines, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead. So here's the point. And they of the south, really they of the south are Judah. There was the southernmost land, but it's really going into all the tribes on a deeper level. We're going to possess the mount of Esau. So the same way Esau was killed, like these elites are going to be killed, like Haman, and Esther inherited his house, it's the same way Yahweh, Bashmel Shah, is going to destroy these elites. We're going to enslave the rest, and we're going to inherit his house, meaning his land. Salakia. And Esau's land is Mount Seir, right? It's not Europe. It's not Greenland. We're going to take over his actual Mount Seir, and we're going to do what we want to do with it, right? In righteousness. Salakia. Let's read on, right? Let's go to Esther 9, right? Like I said, I'm not going to read all of this. Now, this is Esther 9 and verse number 12. And the king said unto Esther the queen, the Jews have slain and destroyed 500 men in Shushan the palace, and the 10 sons of Haman. What have they done in the rest of the king's provinces? Now, what is thy petition? And it shall be granted thee. Or what is thy request further? And it shall be done. Then said Esther, if it please the king, let it be granted to the Jews which are in Shushan to do tomorrow also according unto this day's decree. So she said, you got to think about how we felt as a people, right? You take a so-called black woman now off the streets, right? She meet a so-called white man. Well, what do you want? Ask and it shall be given you. The Birkin bag, the Hermes purse, more food stamps, right? A bachelor's degree, whorish clothes, bottle of liquor, you know, for her baby daddy to give that child support, to abort her baby because she can't afford it, right? For her grandmother and mother to watch the baby while she goes to the club, for the next president to be a Negro, right? For her baby father to die, get shot by his ops. That's the mind of the worldly so-called black woman now, the Negro woman. See, and this time he asked the queen, what do you want? She said, I'm gonna tell you what I want. I want all my people to have the power to kill my enemies, man, and their enemies. We did it today. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. That was on her mind, man. We killed 500 men. Let's do it again. That's the spirit that our women got to get back to, loving their nation, man. Loving Yahweh Bashmiel Shai and wanting to see the fall of their enemy. Not trying to uplift and keep the society going. She said, we killed 500 men. Let's do it again. You know? You got people in the world, they say, man, I wish this night had never end, man. right? Let tomorrow be like, let's keep this night going. I don't want this night to end. That's how Esther was, man, when it came to the Jews destroying the enemies. And what else did she say? And let Haman's 10 sons be hanged upon the gallows. Now, what did they do, man? She could have let them go. It's not their fault. They're not the one who cast the lot, conspired against. What did they do? Doesn't matter what they did, man. That's the point. They're Edomites, man. Hang them on the gallows. Get them out of my sight, man. That's the spirit that our women got to get back in, man. Now the king could say, well, what did they do? It wasn't their fault. Those are just young boys, and they're trying to really figure this thing out. And she said, those 10 sons right there, man, kill them. Hang them up on those gallows, lynch them. So Esther wasn't just a queen with a crown on and, oh my God, I'm going to just fast today. She had a mind of vengeance, man. First, she said, we want to kill these damn demons again, man. We're going to do it again tonight and tomorrow, And she wanted blood, man. And what did these sons do? Now, on a spiritual level, this is going to happen again. 10 is a spiritual number that means completion, right? 10 is a number that means a whole perfect amount. So it really, on a prophetic level, represents how we are going to exterminate the sons of the wicked, right? Let's get that in Isaiah 14:21, right? Let's get that. Isaiah 14:21. So there's a lot of prophetic things in the spirit that you can read about in Esther, right? Isaiah 14:21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. And that's the reason, man. Because if these 10 sons escape, they're going to try to avenge their father. And it's 10 of them. We'll have 10 more Hamans. Kill them all. We don't need none of them. They're no good. Prepare slaughter for his children for what the sins of what their father have done. I don't need them rising up. They're not trying to take the land, and I can't have them all in the city. For I will rise up against them, saith Yahweh, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, saith the Lord. So that happened in Esther. But remember, it's a prophecy as well on a deeper level, because that's what we're going to do again in the days to come. Right? We're going to cut off sons. Esau, you ain't going to have no nephew, man. Now you can say, well, that's mean. Well, what the nephew got to do? Oh, that's just Esau's nephew. Hey, the hell with Esau's nephews, man. That's what the Most High said. Everybody got to go, man. Your nephew, your son, and your uncle, your first cousin, your second cousin. What about the third cousin? The third cousin, he not that bad. I got a Jake Sandwell. The third cousin not that bad. They really, the third cousin has to go too, man. Everybody got to go. Let's go to Job chapter 18, right? This is Job chapter 18 and verse number 17. His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the street. He shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. This is the lot of the so-called white man. He shall have neither son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. So he's going to be completely extinct. See, the so-called white man, he's going to be in slavery for 1,000 years, right? A period of time. And he's going to be working. Man, it's not going to be easy work. I don't know. You got people, you got Israelites who want to take it easy on Esau, man. And you can get away from me, man. I don't want to really get on Esau like that. He's really not that bad. I don't want vengeance. I don't want to get back. I don't want no Edomites in my field. I only want Hamites. If you think like that, more than likely you're not going to make it because your mind ain't right. Your mind is bad. This thing is mental too. I don't want to get on the Edomites. I just want more bites. The Lord said, "Cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood." Right? David, what was David doing in 1 Kings 11 chapter, man? Go back and read that chapter. He spent 6 months, 6 months killing all of the so-called white people, man. He spent 6 months doing it till he cut off every male in Edom. 6 months. You mean to tell me that's not vengeance? A 6-month military campaign to cut off the so-called white man? David didn't have to do that, man. He could have went back to Jerusalem or the city of David, could have put a crown on his head and ate grapes, man, and dealt with his wives and concubines. He went out of his own way to go to Edom and said, I want to be there for a half a year to destroy the so-called white man. That's what he said. Go back and read 1 Kings 11 and 14 on down, right? So that's the point, man. You read Esther, right? It says that she killed his 10 sons. All right, let's read on. Esther 9 and 14. And the king commanded it so to be done. And the decree was given at Shushan, and they hanged Haman's 10 sons. If I could do that AI stuff, man, I would love to see how 10 Edomite sons look hanged and a so-called black woman sitting there with her damn arms folded, kind of pointing at her or smiling, man, or relaxing. Yeah, I put that on the wall, man. That'd be a hell of a painting, man. You got an Israelite princess kind of sitting back. Either she could be kind of, with her arms folded, she could be pointing out, she could be yelling at them, or she could be relaxing and she could be having slaves. But then in the background, you got these Edomites. This could be an actual painting, man. Like with the gold frame or something, and you got the Edomites being lynched in the background. And that'd be something, man. Because that's what actually happened. Right? Let's read on. Esther 9 and 15. For the Jews that were in Shushan gathered themselves together on the 14th day also of the month of Adar, which is today, and slew 300 men at Shushan. But on the prey, they laid not their hand. So they killed 300 men in the city of Shushan, right? But the other Jews were in the king's provinces, gathered themselves together, and stood for their lives, and had rest from their enemies, and slew of their foes 75,000. But they laid not their hands on the prey. Right, and they didn't lay their hands on the prey like the spoils and things of that nature, right? Because they were thankful that the Most High even allowed them to avenge themselves, right? So they thought it not meet to take the spoil of the prey and to exceed, but rather bask in the mercy of the Most High, right? And have that be sufficient enough. Verse 17. On the 13th day of the month of Adar, and on the 14th day of the same rested they, meaning they stopped fighting, and made it a day of feasting and gladness. But the Jews that were at Shushan assembled together on the 13th day, and on the 14th thereof, and on the 15th day of the same they rested, meaning they stopped fighting the heathen, and made it a day of feasting and gladness. That's what this day is about. These are days of feasting and gladness. Therefore, the Jews of the villages that dwelt in the unwalled towns made the 14th day of the month of Adar a day of gladness and feasting and a good day. So this is supposed to be a good day, right? And most High willing, everybody has a good day for Purim. And if you got an enemy, man, at the workplace, and you got an enemy, and maybe you had this officer that pulled you over, man, and maybe you had this judge that got you jammed up, and maybe you got just some damn Edomite that you despise, man, that's always mean mug you, give you the evil eye. Maybe an Edomite cut you off on a highway today, man. And maybe an Edomite, damn whatever, man. Most High willing, all them Edomites drop dead today. And they get stressed out. And they catch the flu or they break a leg, or they get a headache, right? Or they get a nosebleed, or they get into an accident, or something falls on top of them, or they get decapitated, right? Or they deal with high levels of anxiety, or they have a panic attack, or they drown, or their house catches fire, or their children catch fire, or their children slip and fall down the stairs and break their neck, and they're kind of confounded on what to do, and the ambulance takes a long time to get there because the Lord put the spirit of the ambulance to take the wrong way, and their child doesn't get the help that they need. So the child dies. Most High willing, all these things happen today. Our enemies suffer great wrath from the Almighty God today and every day going forward, and ultimately leading up to the day of judgment. This is a good day. You can eat and drink to the destruction of your enemies, and sending the portions one to another, right? So Purim is about portions and lots. That's why the Most High created it, as a way to send lots or portions or gifts one to another. Rather it's an actual gift or portions of meals and foods, right? Whatever portions you want to give, you can do that, man, on Purim. Brothers send portions one to another, man, right? And brothers feast. Send portions one to another, man, right? And it's a day of also giving gifts to the poor, right? Let's jump down to verse number 21, right? Esther 9 and 21. To establish this among them, that they should keep the 14th day of the month Adar, and the 15th day of the same yearly, as the days wherein the Jews rested from their enemies, and the month which was turned unto them from sorrow to joy, and from mourning into a good day, that they should make them days of feasting and joy, and of sending portions one to another, and gifts to the poor. So you can also give to the poor. You can make bags and portions and go out there and distribute them to the poor, right? That's the portions. See, the Most High gave us a beautiful portion on that day. He gave us a beautiful lot on that day to be delivered from our adversaries. And the same love that the Most High gave us, and that same portion and gifts, you distribute those gifts one to another. And even on a spiritual level, think about the gifts and the portions that the Most High gave you, right? Rather you're a teacher, a help, a reader, you could, whatever gifts that you have, those gifts should be given to the poor. And the poor on another level represents our people. We're the poor. We're the lowly. We're the meek. We're the humble. We're the lost sheep. So if you have gifts, Purim teaches you not to hoard up those gifts, but to give it to the poor, give it to the fatherless, give it to the stranger, give it to the widow. Don't hide your talents and lay them up in a napkin. Don't hide your wisdom. Look at the gifts the Most High gave you and give them to the poor. So Purim is not just, okay, what did I get? Okay, what gifts do I have? No, it's spiritual. The law is spiritual. But I'm carnal, sold unto sin. Right? Let's go back to Editions of Esther. Right? Let's see where I'm at with time. Right? Bear with me. Right? I want to go to Editions of Esther. All right. And I want to go back to the Apocrypha. Right? So it's the 14th day and the 15th day of the month of Adar. So Purim actually starts tonight at sundown. So it's Wednesday night at sundown until Thursday night at sundown. That's the first day of Purim. And the second day of Purim is Thursday night at sundown until Friday night at sundown. Friday night at sundown is the Shabbat, of course, right? Until Saturday night at sundown. Esther, Editions of Esther, chapter 11 and verse number 2, right? Editions of Esther, chapter 11 and 2. And the second year of the reign of Artaxerxes the Great, and the first day of the month of Nisan, Mordecai, or Mardochæus, the son of Jairus, the son of Shammai, the son of Sisai, of the tribe of Benjamin, had a dream. So it's going further into that dream that he had. Now, he had this dream on the first day of the month of Nisan, right? So Nisan is really a bib, right? So he had a dream on the first day of the first month of the year. Now, this dream came to pass on a carnal level on the 12th month of the year. And that's how the most I can get down. You can have a dream on the first day of the month of the year, and the dream come to pass at the end of the year. But also, this dream is not just for what happened concerning Purim, but also what it concerns the last days as well. And we're going to read about that. Right? Esther 11:3, who was a Jew and dwelt in the city of Susa, a great man, like it being a servitor in the king's court. He was also one of the captives, which Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, carried from Jerusalem, with Jeconiah, king of Judea, and this was his dream. Behold, a noise of a tumult with thunder and earthquakes and uproar in the land. And behold, two great dragons came forth ready to fight, and their cry was great. And at their cry, all nations were prepared to battle, that they might fight against the righteous people. And lo, a day of darkness and obscurity, tribulation and anguish, affliction and great uproar upon the earth. And the whole righteous nation was troubled, fearing their own evils, and were ready to perish. Then they cried unto the Most High, and upon their cry, as it were from a little fountain, was made a great flood, even much water. The light and the sun rose up, and the lowly were exalted, and devoured the glorious. Now when Mordecai, who had seen this dream, and what the Most High had determined to do, was awake, he bare the dream in his mind until he bare the dream in mind, and until night, by all means, was desirous to know it. And you brothers, you can interpret this dream, right? You understand the dream that he had. See, in the 10th chapter, he broke the dream down to you. In the 11th chapter, you got to break the dream down. This dream concerns Jacob's trouble, right? It concerns Jacob's trouble and the end of the world. That's what this dream is about. This dream is beyond Haman and Mordecai. This dream that he had is about the time that slowly approaches, right? Let's read this again. Behold, a noise of a tumult with thunder and earthquakes and uproar in the land. Now, this uproar of the land is the persecution, right? This is the persecution. Let's go to let's get a quick precept on that. That's 2nd Ezra chapter 16, right? So you have this going on, right? And you're going to have, Revelation, the 20th chapter, when they compass the camp of the saints round about. Let's go to called a precept, 2nd Ezra, right? We'll get a quick precept about this uproar of the people in the land, right? 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and 70. It reads, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. So an insurrection is an overthrow of a government or a kingdom, right? A political regime. So here we are as the kingdom of heaven on the earth. Esau and other nations are looking to overthrow the kingdom through their military, right? And through their armies and through massive persecution. And no matter what city you're in, from the East Coast to down south to the Midwest to the West Coast, it doesn't matter. You're going to be directly affected by this insurrection if you're in this truth. Tanks in the streets, air raid sirens, helicopters, kicking the doors down, rounding up Jake, throwing him on buses, throwing him up in FEMA camps, guillotines, pilgrims on the earth. Verse 71, they should be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. So they're not going to have any mercy. There's no, I'm going to give you a warning, right? There's no community service, right? You're going to get put to death if this is your lot. You're going to be a martyr for Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. So that's the ultimate test. What you're going through right now, it may seem like a lot, but in 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, the Apostle Paul reinforced that this is light affliction. He said, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, working for us a far more and exceeding eternal weight of glory, paraphrasing. So financial troubles you may have, health troubles you may have, marital troubles you may have, your job troubles you may have, it's all light affliction. The true fire is coming. And that's coming in Jacob's trouble. So you need to be strong in these days now. These ain't the days to faint, right? Because you got fired from your job. These ain't the days to faint because you stubbed your toe. These are the days to build up your faith and put your trust in the Most High, because the true heat is approaching. Mordecai had a dream concerning these matters well over, about 2,500 years ago, right? So that's what this is. Behold the noise of a tumult. In the nations, they always make a tumult. That's Psalms chapter 83, right? Let me get that real quick in Psalms 83. A tumult is a violent uproar of the people, right? They make a tumult. This is Psalms chapter 83 and verse number 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. So they've done this in time past, and they're going to do it again. They're going to make a tumult. What is the definition of a tumult? Salakia, right? It reads, a loud, confused noise, especially one caused by a large mass of people, right? What is that? What's the large mass of people really? The so-called white man's military, right? It's not talking about the people at the Lakers game as they scored a game-winning touchdown, or it's like a game-winning basket, right? And it's definitely not talking about this person on the right, but it is talking about the military coming in like a flood, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. That's the noise of a tumult, right? Let's go back to this in Esther. Slakia, additions to Esther. So it says, behold, the noise of a tumult with thunder and earthquakes and uproar in the land. So this is the time of war. This is the time of Jacob's trouble. This is the peak of World War III, right? That's where you have the earthquakes in the land. The bombs are going to be dropping. And the Lord said the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. You're going to have these earthquakes that are still going on. This links directly up with what precept? 2 Ezra chapter 9, right? The Lord said there will be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. Then shalt thou know that it is the very same time where the highest will begin to visit the world that he made. Greatly paraphrasing. So let's get that precept too, right? Just to add another precept. We'll get one more witness on that verse. 2 Ezra chapter 9 and verse number 3. Therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and the final uproar of the people is going to be the uproar here in America, right? Concerning the American military and their persecution against the saints. That's the final massive tumult that Mordecai had a vision of. Mordecai saw the American military. He saw the tanks. He saw war. He saw this time of tribulation. He didn't know what it meant. And that's why he said he saw it all night to break it down. But it was given to you so you could break it down. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. And the days that were before us are the days of Purim, the days of Esther, the days of Mordecai. He spake of uproar. He spake of Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah, the 30th chapter, is not the first to count. Moses spoke of Jacob's trouble. And Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter. He said, when thou art in tribulation, right? Read that's Deuteronomy. Let me get this real quick. Deuteronomy 4 and 30. when thou art in tribulation, and all these things are come upon thee, even in the latter days. If thou turn to Yahweh, Bashmir thy God, and shall be obedient unto his voice. So Moses spake of Jacob's trouble. Mordecai spake of Jacob's trouble. This great tribulation in the latter days, the uproars of the people, the earthquakes, the tumults. Daniel spoke of this, right? Let's go to Daniel 12. These are witnesses. You got people, man. I saw somebody say, I don't know if this was on, maybe this was on one of the more recent videos. It was a cold cut. Maybe I did not too long ago. Somebody came up and said, you stop teaching Jacob's trouble. It happened already. If any Israelite says Jacob's trouble happened already, they don't know the scriptures. Right? You don't know the scriptures. Jacob's trouble happened in 70 AD. Yahushua prophesied of Jacob's trouble in Matthew the 24th chapter. He said there will be a time of trouble, such as was not since the a nation was made, greatly paraphrasing Matthew 24, 21 on down. So Yahushua prophesied that the upcoming, the third abomination that make it desolate, this so-called white man's military coming against us as the temple and the altar and the holy place. Daniel 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as was not since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that should be found written in the book. So it says, such as never was since there was a nation. So this can't be 70 AD, right? This is talking about, really, this is a follow-up of the 11th chapter, right? That's why it says it at that time, when you read Daniel 11:45. But this speaks about the same thing that Mordecai saw, right? Let's read on. So now we're breaking a dream down that he had, right? Esther, addition to Esther 11:6. So we broke down the noise of the thunder, the earthquakes, and the tumult, right? And behold, two great dragons came forth ready to fight, and their cry was great. And at their cry, all nations were prepared to battle, that they might fight against the righteous people. And you're going to have that, man, right? You're going to have all nations ready to fight against the righteous people. Let's go to Zechariah chapter 12, right? This is Zechariah chapter 12 and verse number 2. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege, both against Judah and against Jerusalem. This is in the time of Jacob's trouble, right? And also, again, all nations are going to also seek to destroy us. When you read Revelation, the 20th chapter, 8 on down, Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, they're going to compass the camp of the saints round about. So it's really going into both. Jacob's trouble is going to happen first, and then you're going to have that Ezekiel, the 20th chapter, Revelation, the 20th chapter, transpire as well, right? Verse number 3. And I will make, it's like, and in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. All the people of the earth are going to be gathered against the Israelites, because they understand that this is their end, right? They understand that Yahushua return. They understand that their kingdom is over with. So all nations are going to collectively come together and galvanize under the fact that salvation for the Israelites is draws nigh, rather, right? So this is what he saw, right? He saw all nations ready to fight against the righteous people. Who's the righteous people? The Israelites, man. We're the righteous. We're also called the innocent. We're called the meek. We're called the perfect, as Psalm 64, and we're called the lowly. We have many titles that the Most High gave us, right? Let's read on. Verse number 8. And lo, a day of darkness and obscurity, tribulation and anguish, affliction, and great uproar upon the earth. And this is the great tribulation, right? This is that tribulation concern in Daniel, the 12th chapter, right? And again, Yahushua, he prophesied of this tribulation, this obscurity, right? Let's go to Matthew 24 and 21. It reads, Salakia, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. Right? So you're going to have obscurity. You're going to have darkness. You're going to have confusion. People at their wits' end. How do I survive? Is the Most High coming back? Right? Waiting on salvation. You're going to have Jacob Pilgrim on the earth running away. You might have damn canines chasing them down. German shepherds on their heels. They tripling and falling and they escape. You know, the Most High have one of these devils take care of you in Jacob's trouble and cause the enemy to entreat you well, man. And you might be somewhere locked up somewhere in Jacob's trouble, praying that Yahweh has mercy on you, rather you're dead or alive. Some people, and you might be somewhere taken care of in Jacob's trouble, living in one of these Edomite mansions, man. They all died, but the Most High sent you there, and you have nothing but food and water. And you're just eating and drinking to the day of judgment. The chariot come, you put your hoagie down, get the crumbs off your beard, you kind of sit up and say, Barakatha Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You get beamed up, man, as you get the crumbs off your garment. You know? Everybody's going to have a different lot in those days. Right? Let's read verse 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days should be shortened. So many men are going to die. So the Lord has to shorten those days, because if he don't, ain't nobody going to make it. Right? Let's go back to this in Esther. Addition to Esther chapter 11 and 9. And the whole righteous nation was troubled, fearing their own evils, and were ready to perish. And that's how we're going to be, man. Right? We're going to be at our wits' end. Let's get that in Jeremiah, the 30th chapter, about the righteous nation being troubled. Right? The Lord also described that in Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse number 5. Right? Slakia. Jeremiah 30 and 5. For thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands upon his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. So Jeremiah chapter 30, verses 5 and 6, they link directly up with additions of Esther chapter 11 and verse number 9, where it says, fearing their own evils and were ready to perish. Right? That's why it says that it's like men travailing with child, screaming in pain, like a woman that screams with pain. Another precept, let's go to Isaiah 27, concerning the part where it says we were ready to perish. This is Isaiah chapter 27 and verse number 13. And it shall come to pass in that day that the great trumpet shall be blown, and they shall come which were ready to perish in the land of Assyria, and the outcasts in the land of Egypt, and shall worship Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai in the holy mount at Jerusalem. So here's another precept. We were ready to perish, at our wits' end, calling upon the name of the Most High, screaming, Lord, to have mercy on us, because Esau's going to come in like a flood, sparing none, like we read. Right? Ready to perish. Same thing in Esther. We were ready to perish. Same thing we read in Jeremiah the 30th chapter. Ready to perish. Esther said, hey, look, I'm a fast. If I perish, I perish. We were ready to perish. Going through that fast, man. She was ready to perish when she had to appear before the king. You know, we're always ready to perish, man. We're like sheep led to the slaughter, like I tell you. So when you read, let's read on. Addition to Esther 11 and 10. Then they cried unto God, and upon their cry, as it were from a little fountain, was made a great flood, even much water. So what does this mean? Then they cried unto the Most High. I mean, it's plain. If you're the elect, you're going to call upon Yahweh Bashmir Shai in the days of evil. You're not going to look to call the police. You're not going to look for your neighbor. You're not going to look for man. You're going to look to the Most High. And you're going to cry upon the Most High or cry unto the Most High. Right? Like I tell you, like I love this precept in Psalms 50. Right? Call upon me in the day of trouble, and I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me. Right? That's Psalms chapter 50. We're going to call upon the Most High. Right? Psalms chapter 50 and verse number 15. And call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me. So when you might get that alert on your phone, there might be a false flag attack. Something might pop up on the TV screen. They're looking for the black Hebrew Israelites. They might say somebody committed treason. There was a false flag attack. Whatever the case may be. When that day goes down, every brother and sister should immediately get on your hands and knees, bow your face to the ground, and call upon Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, the God of our fathers. And the Lord heard our cry in Egypt. Huh? It says the Lord heard the groaning and the sighs of the children of Israel, paraphrasing. In Exodus, the 2nd chapter. By reason of the bondage. And the Lord heard them, and the Lord had respect unto them. So call upon the Most High in those days, man. He says, I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me. So that's what Esther is talking about, right? When it says, and upon their cry, as it were from a little fountain, was made a great flood, even much water. The light and the sun rose up, and the lowly were exalted, and devoured the righteous. Now when it says, and as it were, Slakia, and as it were from a little fountain was made a great flood, even much water, that goes into our deliverance, right? The great flood and the much water represents our deliverance and our salvation, right? Through the wisdom and knowledge of the Most High, right? When you go, we read that precept in Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, right? Let's get that real quick, right? When it says, my brook became a river, and my river became a flood, right? And that light represents the sun shining again. Ecclesiasticus chapter 24, we read this before, but I'll read it again, right? Verse 31. I said, I will water my best garden, and will water abundantly my garden bed. And lo, my brook became a river, and my river became a sea. Same thing in Esther, right? Increased and grew in knowledge and understanding through the wisdom of the Most High. I will yet make doctrine to shine as the morning. That's why that there was a light. That light represents the truth, in addition to Esther, and will send forth her light afar off. So that light is the word of the Most High, the doctrine, the truth, the knowledge of the Most High, right? It represents also our hope, you know. That's why it says the light and the sun rose up. See, the light and the sun, let's get a precept. They represent the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Isaiah 30 and 26. Isaiah chapter 30 and 26. It reads, moreover, the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun, and the light of the sun shall be sevenfold, as the light of 7 days. When is this going to happen? It says, in the day that Yahweh bindeth up the breach of his people, and healeth the stroke of their wound. So that's in the day of deliverance from Jacob's trouble. That's where that light is going to come from. That's what we read in Ecclesiastes 24, that doctrine is going to shine forth. The word of the Most High, this truth, right? That's what that's going into. Now our light is going to shine, right? The Most High said in 2nd Ezra 5, right? Let's get this in 2nd Ezra 5 real quick. It says, if the Most High grant thee to live, thou shalt see that the sun shall shine again, right? The 2nd Ezra, chapter 5, and verse number 4. But if the Most High grant thee to live, thou shalt see after the third trumpet, that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night, and the moon thrice in the day. So the third trumpet is the time when the seventh seal is open in the book of Revelation, the 8th chapter, when the missiles began to fall on the earth, and war is at an all-time high, and Jacob's trouble is at an all-time high. During that time, if the Lord allows you to survive as World War III reaches its peak, the Most High said that sun is going to shine again. You're going to be delivered. You're going to have hope. He's going to take you out of the hell that we're catching and deliver the righteous people, right? So the sun is a metaphor. It's not literal. It's a metaphor for the truth, for wisdom and understanding and knowledge, right? So that's why we have to go through these precepts to break this dream down, right? And most brothers, if you have dreams, usually they have to be broken down through the precepts, right? Let's read this again. Esther, additions to Esther 11 and 11. The light and the sun rose up, and the lowly were exalted and devoured the glorious. And eventually the Most High is going to have us devour the glorious. Who's the glorious? The people that are highly esteemed. They're the glorious. They live glorious. They eat glorious, man. Jake, you eating damn TV dinner, ramen noodles. They eating, 5-star meals of things we can't pronounce, man. They wear glorious apparel. That's in Matthew the 11th chapter. The Lord said, they that dwell in king's houses, right, wear soft clothing, paraphrasing. Right? Let me get this. In Matthew 11 and verse number 8. But what went ye out to see? A man clothed in soft raiment? Behold, they that wear soft clothing are in king's houses. So people that live good, they have glorious apparel. They wear soft clothing, the finest material. They eat the finest food. They travel across the world, So the righteous are going to devour the glorious, right? And when is that going to happen? Let's get a quick precept on that. Let's get one quick precept on that, right? So I'm running out of time, right? This is Zechariah chapter 9 and verse number 13. Then, it's like, when I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man. So the Lord is going to raise us up. He said the lowly were exalted. He's going to take the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom and make us a weapon of war, right? And make us a weapon of war. It reads, and Yahweh shall be seen over them, and his arrow shall go forth as the lightning, and the Lord God shall blow the trumpet, and shall go with the whirlwinds of the south. The Lord shall defend them, and they shall what? They shall devour. We just read that in the dream. And they shall devour and subdue its sling stones. And they shall drink and make a noise as through wine, and they shall be filled like bowls and as the corners of the altar. So that's us devouring the glorious, us taking out the powers that be. The Lord said that the world shall fight with him against the unwise, and ill dealings shall overthrow the thrones of the mighty. Let me get that real quick before we wind down. Right? I love how this chapter begins and ends, man. Right? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, and verse number 23. It reads, I'm gonna read 20, then I'm gonna jump down. Right? His severe wrath shall he sharpen for a sword, and the world shall fight with him against the unwise. The world is the righteous people. We are our own world. The unwise are the glorious people that we're going to fight against. So don't let people tell you that the world is everybody, right? Because if the world is everybody, then who's the unwise? It will make no sense, right? Reading the verse 23. Wisdom of Solomon 5:23. Yea, a mighty wind shall stand up against them, and like a storm shall blow them away. Thus iniquity shall lay waste the whole earth, and ill dealing shall overthrow the thrones of the mighty. So your sins are going to cause you to fall. They're the glorious. They are the mighty. They are the ones that sit on thrones. They're the ones that fare sumptuously every day. We went to that parable in Luke the 16th chapter, right? Concerning the rich man and Lazarus, right? Luke 16:19. There was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day. So all the precepts link up. They're the thrones of the mighty, and Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. They dwell in kings' houses and palaces in Matthew, the 11th chapter. They wear the best material and they fare sumptuously every day. But regardless, they are going to get devoured. Let's read this one more time. Addition to Esther, chapter 11:11. The light and the sun rose up, and the lowly were exalted and devoured the glorious. Now when Mordecai, or Mardochæus, who had seen this dream, and what the Most High had determined to do, was awake, he bare this dream in mind, and until night, by all means, was desirous to know it. So with that, we're going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh. Enjoy the Feast of Purim. Keep the Feast of Purim. Thank the Most High. Say Barakatah Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai. Bless the Most High that made you, that avenged us against our adversaries, that's given us a day of feasting and gladness and joy. But with that, Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, Most High willing you were edified. Kwam Yasham. Shalom.